people do not take their spelling very seriously these days, especially in the times of texts. Someone sends a text HWR, meaning how are you? And you can be sure if he goes into an exam, he's going to write the same thing. HW for how are you? You have you, A-R-E and you write R and U. And it becomes a habit. And once it becomes a habit, you cannot stop it. So the only way to do this is to attack. And it is very early. To get these students when they're still in primary, they learn how to spell, they take interest in reading, in buying, and otherwise dealing with books. My generation, when we were young, when you got a little pocket money, immediately you thought of looking for a home. Today's children are distracted with so many things. There are sweets, there are telephones, there are computer chips, there are so many things. It is very rare when you ask a child in primary what he would like to buy most. And the first thing you say is a book. So this is what we're trying to revive. Books. Be they e-books, be they computer books, books. To expand that reading culture. I am also chairman of the National Library of Uganda. I don't know if some of you know where that is. The teachers from Uganda will probably know where that is. And my aim has been to build a self-contained, well-purposed library for the whole of Uganda. I've managed to get the land from the government of Uganda in power, and I hope one day that will be a reality. I hope before I retire from being chairman that I'll be able to put up that building which all of you will admire. Because the building that we have at the moment is a rented building, it's an old building, it's an Asian building, and we rent it from an Asian society. If you look at the National Library, you'll find that there are not very many children who come to read there. Others come there because at break time they can socialize with their friends, but very few come to really read. There are few who do come to read and are very serious about it. But compared to what we had before, there are few, and you cannot blame them because there are a lot of distractions. You have 24-hour TV, DSTV, where I don't know, 80 channels. In our days when we were in school, we had one channel, that was UTV. And it started at 6 and ended at 11. And you almost just by thinking, you know which programs were coming. Cartoons, Daktari, the news, Uganda, the news in Swahili, the news in English. President Amin does that, President Amin does this. So there are much more distractions these days. But the Spelling Bee is a noble initiative. We are hoping to work by virtue of competition, by virtue of interaction, and virtue of reviving the reading culture. I've already mentioned that the aim is to start with the primary children and to get children to find books as exciting tools and to enable them to fall in love with reading. The Monitor newspaper has been good and has agreed to partner with us. And as we move forward, we hear a lot about the Monitor and the Spelling Bee. It is not a marriage of convenience, it is a marriage that will set apart those who stand for various morals, various beliefs. That in reading is where everything starts. By being able to read, these children will gain confidence, they will have presentation skills, develop cognitive skills, and this will enable them to stay in school longer. We find a lot of people who go to the bank these days, business people, they cannot even fill the form to open the account. They cannot express themselves properly. I'm looking for examples without offending anyone. But I'm sure you've heard of someone who was told that it was greeted and told, "Happy birthday, sir." And he said, "Thank you, same to you." we know many people who make such mistakes and not even bat an eyelid. So by reading, you know that the coincidence of two people having the same birthday in the same day. Very small. Our aim is to encourage children to develop into teams. There will be teams. And so the issue of teamwork is quite important. The teams not only will include their own siblings, but also teachers, parents, and the community. And this is to encourage them to know that they're not alone, to develop a sense of community, and to build bonds that will probably last a lifetime. Now, words, we believe, change the world. And we've designed the spelling bee to be all about positive words. What do we mean by positive words? We're talking about if you're encouraging children and you have, for example, a spelling contest, and the words that the children are asked to spell: catastrophe, calamity, demeanor, misdemeanor, felony. Those are negative words. But if you are asking them to spell words like comprehensive, excitement, those are positive words. So our aim is to help them with positive words. It may help with our country. You can see the way our country is going. We have parliamentarians who cannot express themselves. We have policemen who cannot express themselves. We have activists who cannot express themselves. And if you cannot express yourselves, the next course is to express yourselves in the most primitive way we know, and that is by violence. So we're trying to get rid of this violent character, to enable people to express themselves by words, by deeds, which they read of, by many such things. We hope that Monitor Spelling Bee will aspire to install into our children the values, character, responsibility, excellence, empathy, discipline. There was someone who came from, nobody came from Nakasero Primary School. I think there's someone from Kitati. Now, these were two schools which were designed to really show children. These schools should be the showcase of education in Uganda. They were some of the first schools with them. I had the privilege of going to Nakasero Primary School. At the time I went there, I think Uganda had just got independence. Many of you had not been born, I think. Nakasero Primary School was called European Primary School. And the reason it was called that was because blacks were not allowed. You and me could not attend European Primary School as it was called. So as independence came, they said, no, this cannot be. How can a school be in Uganda, which Ugandans are not allowed? So soon after independence, they allowed some of us to into that school. One of the first was the former parliamentarian in Waterloo. If you look at our classes, it looked very funny. We were actually scared to see so many white people. In B2, in P1, I think we were 2 black people. All the rest were Europeans, Asians from high-class families, whatnot. And it was really scary. The teachers were all whites. And we were some of the few. And that's when they changed the name from European Primary School to Nakasero Primary School. The school fees was 150 shillings. It was a lot of money to date. But when you look at the people who came from that school, spelling was a whole lesson. The teacher at random would say, you go and spell the word. Derivative. Start looking at it. And you could ask questions which children today may fear to ask. For example, why the word knife is spelled with a K. The word engine does not start with an N. these are very basics, but you're allowed to ask, why did it not? Why does it not? So we were able to be in that school as we have more people join. And you can see them when they stand up to talk, you can see that this last person went to that school. In other Minister of Finance talk, she was a couple of years ago. Auditor General John Mwanga, Dr. Ham Leader, former ICT Minister. It's not by accident. A lot of work went into it. Teachers were brought from the UK to teach spelling. A lot of work went into it. And so you can see the task ahead of you also will involve a lot of work. But we hope that the generations, many years down the road, you'll be able to see children and say, those children were out of the spelling bee. I remember that word. He won the spelling bee in such and such a way. So with those words, I want to thank you once again for coming. Thank the organizers for setting up such a brilliant idea. And I hope they will bring it to fruition and to yield many results. Thank you.